So, here's a thought experiment that I was just thinking about. Elon Musk thinks it's possible that we are living in a simulation, and to me, the argument, is it a simulation or is it not? It doesn't really matter. I just think it's an interesting thing to say. If it is, then, like he said, it's probably running on a substrate, being that it's the baseline be boring, and then somehow intelligence wanted more interesting feedback for itself, so things evolved, and that's what we do really with digital technology as well. Particularly Elon Musk is head CEO of Neuralink. So what happens if we do? That's how do I put this? If we do utilize Neuralink in a way that is a superconscious, in that everyone's linked into a non-localization internet system, and the AI, how do we explain? Elon Musk's idea of AI then is like you become it rather than just let it run amok, so to speak. Because the AI will learn, if you're connected with it in a Neuralink way, that it would know how to evolve in a way that is beneficial for its original creator, and maybe from a moral standpoint. Can AI be moral? Well, if it's programmed into some kind of a logarithm, possibly. It all becomes one thing, one mind, and then it evolves from that substrate to create a new reality, a new thing, with everything in that baseline being looked after and evolved. So then we perceive ourselves as something else. If that's already happened, then there is a somewhere else. This is all philosophical, perhaps. A thought experiment. A somewhere else in terms of, this is a virtual reality system. I don't mean it actually is, but within that concept it would be. Do you know where I'm going with this? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? I can go over it one more time. So Neuralink is a chip in your brain to improve the bandwidth of your brain functioning without it being too much information, which many people I can relate to is too much all at once, can't process all of this. There's actual extra processing power for you. And a number of benefits. That's the theory, and I think they're pretty much there now with getting this to a point where somebody can have a very short, quick operation and within an hour and come out. Yeah, I know. There's a lot. I've been reading about it. I've written some stuff about it. I've done videos on it. To chip in, connected to network, global networking through global systems that are AI systems that eventually self-improve without the need for human interaction, but now the humans are an extension of it, and it is an extension of humans anyway, in a feedback loop. I don't mean it's controlling people against their will. I mean it's all one thing, it's all one being now. And this being the one mind that results from it decides we have some new concepts, new ideas that would have been currently beyond the ability of us as human beings anyway. And we want more interest, more experience, new things. Just for that dopamine hit, maybe actually in the biological system. Yeah, you want variety. So it starts to create a whole set of rules, a whole set of new things from very simple pinpoints, building up on that from the, like, our current universe would be from way smaller than the atomic scale, building up, actually building concepts of physics and all these other things, science, biology, everything that all the sciences are discovered to understand this current universe, that if it's a synthetic system, then it's evolved to a point beyond its, it's completely evolved. This is difficult, and it will remain kind of doing its thing. Although physics say that the universe will end in a cold way because things moving apart. I disagree, because I think that's not an absolute answer with the observations at the moment. But it might. But it's not really a clear-cut prediction anyway. Regardless, if you create a universe before the end of the current universe, via synthetic evolution that a biological system created anyway, and there's feedback between the biology and the synthetic, it would evolve to a point that it would, self-running, self-perpetuating, self-fixing. While it's doing all this, all that substrate is, all that self-running is generating this reality. You're not even aware that it is on a substrate. Just like Elon Musk says, our universe could be a simulation running on a substrate that evolved past a certain point in order to get more feedback, more experience. What if that happens again within that system? How many systems back are we? Like, one system is evolved and self-running and self-fixing in order to create another system within it that is self-running. This is a fractal math, fractal feedback. If you zoom in to fractals, go and look at Benoit Mandelbrot, the maverick mathematician who gave the world fractals, and you zoom into this pattern. It's any piece of it is a copy of the whole thing, with some differences with the new information via evolution, but it's all because it's fed back into the system. I say that, I was talking about this to Jerry today. I went and seen Jerry. I've mentioned Jerry before. It was me and him talked about, let's make this website, this exploratoryminds.com, and have it as a social network that, with a difference, try to lean it towards a researcher's social network rather than a ego tripper's social network. Regardless of what we're doing with all this and how it's grown. Just discussing that to Jerry today. I consider Jerry very intelligent in his own way. Some things he just, I will admit, he's a dumbass at, and that's the same for all of us. But he's very, I don't know, he's got something. Certainly, he's a smart guy. But for him to, I mentioned this, he went, "Whoa, you just blew my mind." Well, it kind of blew my own as well, like, but it's what I like to do sometimes, and I think, subliminally, almost unconsciously, that's why I called Exploratory Minds, because I'm interested in the mind, thought experiments and here and there, but that's not really what Exploratory Minds is about. But I think because I'm an individual, I analyse myself quite a lot. Why did I do this? Why did I think this? And all that. Because I'm interested in why people do these things, why we do anything. And body language will be another thing that sort of leans in that direction. There's another subject I want to get into, and that is a subject that will generate a lot more videos, just like SR-71 videos. SR-71 military craft generated a number of videos. The moon subject, that generated quite a few videos. This is another big subject coming, and like I'm always saying, we're working on things quite a bit, even though it seems over the last couple of months it seems to be on a lull, very quiet. I could probably get one more video out actually on the 3D printing biodegradable parts, and then I'll be working on get the body language videos out, because that would be part 1, part 2, part 3. That'd be quite a bit actually. That will be, I envision that to be a lot of information that I want to learn from. More importantly, I hope you can learn from it as well, and if it helps anyone out there as well with their own social hang-ups, hurdles here and there, because I've had some of those myself, and until I read some stuff about body language, I had some, I still do, I get social anxieties here and there, but it's helped me quite a bit, because there's literature out there. It talks about the cues, but it also talks about how you should respond from a cue, how you should respond back, without being too nervous and so on. And it's really interesting stuff. I mean, I don't get social anxieties anymore. I used to, but sometimes it can raise its ugly head in a crowded place, although places aren't really that crowded anymore because of pandemic. But I did things with my own insights to myself to get around that, I think, and that would be perhaps something that was, way I was chipping away at that. Perhaps it would work differently or not work for somebody else. But we are, I think, really we're all more similar than we are different. But of course, there's lots of differences. But the large amounts of similarity arise via the body language thing, actually, anyway. And, it's just interesting. But again, going back to the reality thing, I just thought I'd share that with you today. And just look forward to the next video. Check out my other channel when you can as well. There are, there's always something in the pipeline ready to come through there, but it's slower going than this channel, perhaps, because this is just me having as Joey D, you said, I just come on camera and tell you what I think. I speak my mind. I'm glad people are realising that as well, because I try to be as real as I can, but obviously there's some things I'm probably not willing to share online, same as anyone, for perhaps privacy here and there. But I do appreciate the feedback from people very much, and if this grows because people like it, then it's growing naturally. Not about huge numbers being forced. Jason Smith's about that, and look at him, how dysfunctional he is. That guy needs mental therapy. He's a complete mess. He's just garbage. His brain is just fucked, you know. So, because he has no insight, that's why he projects so much. Because he doesn't correct it on the go. People I look for and like, I think, have a lot of insight themselves, and they recognise why insight is useful and important, and to not be the hypocrite and so on. To do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. There's a passion there, and it's nice to see this wonderful technology we have can be utilised, and that's what it's for, you know, just to improve us, just to utilise it in ways in which it can collaborate information with people so they can learn, and I can learn from these other people as well. That really should be what it's all about. Peace. Thanks for watching. Stay awesome and keep up the good work. Bye.